I'm Glenn. I am the founder of Aperion Health, proud father of three, proud husband to a really brilliant woman who's an engineer. Well, first of all, being surrounded by the right people matter. It's something that I've been intentional. It has taken me really far in my career. And so when one of my closest friends recommended that I consider Ascent, the first thing I measured were the people. I was able to go to a community gathering, have a really great time connecting with a few folks, and I was able to be clear about what mattered to me. And through that process, I decided that Ascent was the right place for me to be. It was filled with curious, intelligent, hardworking, often really ambitious people, yet mission-oriented and vocationally grounded. So Ascent has really been a reflection for me of the people that I want to be surrounded with, that bring out the best of who I want to be and also provide the support for me to grow. So that's how I came about making my decision, and it's provided real fruit. You know, one of the great benefits of my one-to-one coaching relationships is that I often can hear a very clear voice internally. It's often when I have to talk about it and then hear it in surround sound and have another person reflect back to me what they heard, that the invitation becomes thoughtful. Did I really mean what I said? Am I anchored to my behavior and my actions aligning with my beliefs and the intention in which I want to pursue life? One kind of amazing example more recently, on a walk around a beautiful lake, my coach and I were having a really meaningful conversation about a major transition in my life. And I was seeing it so clearly that it was happening to me. And about halfway around the lake, I came to realize that actually I had put this all into motion. And that by owning the fact that the transition was initiated by me, it allowed me to continue to affirm my ambition to go beyond what was the conventional thinking, the conventional approach that had long been set in my life. And that I'm aspiring to do something different. And so that walk around the lake allowed me to see the other side of the coin. And it activated in me a deeper belief that I can change my circumstances. And that life is a process, and I can be the captain of my ship if I so choose. And that's the power of what Ascent has offered me, is a reflection of the surround sound to what I speak being a question of, am I on the journey to achieving the very things that I say I want for my life? You know, I'm blessed to come from a generation where my family and my ancestors have given me the opportunity to pursue my wildest dreams. And oftentimes those dreams can only live in my sleep, or they lived in the hushed moments of having an intimate moment with my wife. And what I'd say is that Ascent has created the space for those dreams to be shared by other people who aspire to be more. You know, to be raised in a generation, a child of the 80s and 90s. What I didn't know at the time, but I can reflect on now, is that the momentum of that season of the world was that we were raising a generation, that I was a generation of deep aspiration of what could be achieved into the future. And I'm surrounded by those people. And so if you find yourself curious, intelligent, passionate, often unsettled with the status quo, I find Ascent to bring me back to one of my earliest mantras, which Carpe Diem, in many ways, for many people, has meant something to their lives. I'd say that Ascent are folks that are striving to seize each day. And that's the invitation I give to somebody who's seeking, who's striving, is come and push the boundaries of what's possible in your dreams. Because who you surround yourself with is the determination of your distance that you will travel.
My name is Eric Lean, and I've been fortunate to be part of Ascent for almost a year now. And I was introduced through Ascent through my friend Stiles Anderson, who is one of the founders. And it's been an incredible experience, and one that, being almost a year in, I couldn't have described when I first started. And coming into my first Ascent event, which was a breathing exercise, was, let's just call it an out-of-body experience. But I'm used to doing a lot of professional things where you come into a room and I have to be the one that goes out to introduce myself, to network. But the moment I walked into an Ascent gathering, everyone walked up and introduced themselves, and it felt really just natural and welcoming, and in a place where I found people who I found were going to push me and make me better and make me think about things differently overall. My experience in Ascent has been, one, through just the broader community gatherings, which have been incredible, just different learning exercises, but then also with my monthly cohort that I meet with. And then I've also had the fortunate opportunity to be part of one of the semi-annual retreats. The cohort has been unbelievable. The first time we sat down with the cohort that I'm a part of, it was incredible. I think how they must have curated it and brought different people in, because there's so many different perspectives, people, different backgrounds, experiences, and that has really opened my eyes and my aperture, so to say, of different thoughts, different ways of looking at things. And my cohort has been unbelievable in helping me through either personal or professional hurdles, challenges, experience I'm going through, in terms of either giving perspective, being there from a support standpoint. But it's an unbelievable group that, had I not been a part of this, I don't know if I ever would have walked across or met some of these individuals, and I'm deeply thankful that I have this opportunity. Professionally, the group has really helped me go through a particular challenge I had in thinking about an opportunity in a career decision. And something, candidly, I was harboring a lot of weight and stress on my shoulders, and the group helped me break it down just in the more simplistic forms, but also really reinforce that, like, believe in yourself. And those are the things that are really coming through. And so, yeah, with the time I presented it, the challenge to the group, I was at a challenging spot, and I couldn't see the forest through the trees. And the group really just helped me break things down in a simplistic way and gave me a really clear path forward to help me evaluate all the options. They didn't solve it for me, but they helped me figure out a path forward for me to solve it myself, one that I couldn't see prior to talking through it with them. The recalibration retreat, unbelievable. It's something I hope everyone has the opportunity to experience and do in their lifetime. I'd also say you have to be ready for it too, though. You have to come into it with an open mind. And if I think about Ascent and the 4 axioms: wellness, pursuit, adventure, and connection, there were things I thought that I had pretty locked and dialed into, but that retreat really opened up my perspective in terms of, maybe I need to think about how I think about other things that I'm working through, and like what I want to gain and what really matters to me. And the thought exercises, the journaling, the group exercises were all unbelievably tremendous in so many different ways, that they're things that I carry with me. And my biggest challenge and opportunity now is making sure all the things that I learned and gained from that experience, I apply to my daily self day in and day out.
Love that.
How would I describe Ascent to? I would call it a personal, professional, developmental group. And maybe that's not the right way to say it, but I never thought of wellness, adventure, pursuit, and connection in those kind of simplistic 4 buckets. But I think Ascent is a great way for you to grow in all 4 of those aspects or areas, but then also, too, understanding that, hey, maybe there are things you're not thinking about that are avoidance in your life that you wouldn't not have known until you got into the Ascent community and went through some experiences to figure it out. One of the best experiences I've been through like one of the community exercises was the one about your purpose, and being able to understand like what at the end of the day, what drives you in your core, and what drives, what do you value, what are the things that matter to you. And that purpose exercise really helped boil that down to me in candidly a couple sentences. And once you kind of really have a chance to understand and know what your personal purpose is, it makes everything else a little less quiet and allows you to give more focus and direction in terms of where and how you want to spend your time. And that's what it's done for me specifically a lot, and what I value too, versus what others value of myself. Well, I'll give you a personal example from the retreat, of the wellness, adventure, connection, and pursuit. I thought I had the pursuit aspect down cold, and I was looking to fill the other areas. But what my realization was I'm focused too much on pursuit, that it's impacting, my ability to build deeper, longer, established connections with people, to make sure I'm focused on wellness, and to find more ways to push myself and experience adventurous things in the life, because I'm so focused on pursuit. And that's the one thing I really took from the retreat is dial back the pursuit, because that's always going to be there, but really make sure I'm filling the other buckets before I fill the pursuit one. I think Ascent is for everybody, but you have to determine what you want out of it, because you could join Ascent and do these things. But for me, really investing my time and in the different exercises, the group activities, things like that, it's easy to say, no, I'm not going to do it this month. I'm going to move on to something else. But every time I've gone to an Ascent cohort, community activity, retreat, or anything, I walk away so much more fulfilled, feeling my purpose and feeling like the direction I want to take things for me, my family, loved ones, and everything in between. Ascent is a group of like-spirited individuals and people that want to get the most out of their life, whether that's personal, professional, developmental, things like that. So if you want to be around people that are motivated, that are driven, that want to do things, experience things, Ascent is the group for you. And the best way to describe it is there's 4 axioms. There's wellness, adventure, pursuit, and connection. Wellness is how are you taking care of your mind and body? What are you doing to nurture yourself, to grow yourself, to develop yourself? Adventure, what are you doing to push the limits or grow or experience different things you've never experienced before? Pursuit can be a lot of different things. For me, pursuit is more professionally, but you can pursue a lot of different things in life. And then the last one is connection. Is like, what is your relationship with other people, and what do you want those relationships to be? And Ascent gives you the community and then different learning experiences to help you, whether it's all 4 of those different buckets or one in particular, to help you grow and find what you need personally, surrounded by an amazing group of people that are going to help you do that with together, more or less.
Seth Cogswell, Minneapolis resident, in finance, have 3 kids. I would say that if you are, there's a saying that you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And I have made a very intentional effort to kind of raise those 5 people. I've got some wonderful people in my life, but certainly in this area, it's easy, especially with children, for circumstance or situation to kind of decide who those 5 people are. And again, I decided that I wanted to surround myself with people who are thinking more, who are striving for more, and kind of pondering the bigger questions and really looking to better themselves. Being in Minnesota, it can occasionally be hard to have a deeper conversation than what the weather looks like. And that's really what I was looking for, is to just to spend more time with more thoughtful people. I would say the retreat in particular was somewhat of a transformative experience. A concept that I had been sort of noodling. I wanted to create a happy cult, basically. And I was trying to decide what is the best way to create a cheerful cult. And in the best of ways, not no Kool-Aid. And there were some moments during the retreat where, especially on the solitary day where you kind of spend time by yourself, They provide a bunch of prompts to really get you thinking about different aspects of life, which was beneficial in and of itself. But it was really that kind of solitude and taking the time away from the busyness of life. And it just sort of came together where I had this like aha moment. And it was funny because there's that whatever the room is, kind of the yoga room that we set up shop, the peace pod. And I like run in and I just start talking and Matt's like Matt humors me. Matt's just like, yeah, yeah, and he's like listening. And then at some point Sal's like, this is your solitude time. I'm like, fine. So then I was like, all right, I'll see you guys later. But that was great. It's the really, I wouldn't say pleasant surprise because I had no expectations for this other than I was just curious. I wanted to just experience it. Um, but it's been great, particularly again, whether it's the group sessions or whether it's the retreat, how thoughtful they are as far as how they structure it. Um, you know, I could see myself because of how much I like things of this nature, wanting to do something similar, but then having no structure whatsoever. And so it's really great. There's just a lot of thought that goes into um, the discussions and how it's sort of structured to help have the biggest impact. So it's fun. I mean, whether it's I really look forward to the group sessions. It's just, it's good to see everybody. It's good people, everybody talking openly, which again in Minnesota can be hard to find at times. And then again, the retreat was amazing.
Good.
I don't think collegial does a good job of describing it, but I mean, it just seems like good people want to talk about interesting things, right? It's more than, um, it's just so easy for just the mundane to dominate life. And I have a tendency to kind of live wherever, to constantly be thinking about other things. And this is just a great environment for me to just have cool conversations. I mean, I love hearing what people are doing professionally, the cool things that they're doing, even if it's not even relevant to what I'm doing. I love it. And so just, whether it's the gatherings, the group sessions where you go a little bit deeper and help each other kind of potentially solve problems if they're working through something. It's just fun. And it's the main thing for me is kind of just an exercise in critical thinking with others. I think that's something that I love and that I experienced in business school. And really, that's kind of what brought me to this, is how much I loved business school and the people I was surrounded by. That was kind of a group setting and solving problems and working with very capable people. And, this was, kind of a way to try to recreate that a little bit. I think it's been a great experience. Nothing but positive.